Hi everyone. So it's been a while since I posted, but I just wanted to do a quick review on some snacks I've been enjoying lately. What they all have in common is that they're fairly low carb. I'm trying to cut carbs a little bit, and along the way I've discovered some new snacks. So let's just get started with them. So in my last video I talked about Country Archer. They had sent me a bunch of jerky snacks. So these are really great. They come with 3 servings in a package. And this one is actually, it's pretty spicy. I don't normally eat sriracha on things. I'm kind of anti-condiment, but these are actually really good. And you know, what's good about these is that there's 3 servings and you have to eat them within 3 days. So, you know, it's kind of easy to pace yourself and eat a serving a day. So these have 11 grams of protein in them and 1.5 grams of fat. And, you know, there's a little bit higher carbs in this one, I think because of the sriracha and spiciness, but overall I think it's a good snack because you have proteins balancing it out. So that's a Country Archer brand. I'll link the video where I showed all the Country Archer products down below. And then you know, these are also from Country Archer, and these are bars. So if you eat one, it's 20 grams of protein, which is great, and only 3 grams of sugar with this one, which is a sweet barbecue one. So sometimes I just, you know, instead of a protein bar or something, I'll just eat one of these. So these are good. And then moving on to some sweeter stuff. So I actually ordered these online. They're only available in some stores in Canada, so they do ship to the US, and these are Smart Sweets. I put a post about them on Instagram, but basically they are gummy bears, and they you know, they're high in fiber, and they only have 2 grams of sugar for an entire bag. So if you think about Haribo, which I used to eat a lot, you know, it's way less than that. So although I haven't gone through an entire bag yet, and I don't think I ever would in one sitting because it is really high in fiber. So 24 grams in a package, and I think you know, I can probably only tolerate about 30 something ish grams of fiber a day. So I'm pretty good. Actually, after I eat a couple, I'm content because they're not overly sweet, so then it doesn't start that whole cycle of, you know, you wanting more sweet things. So they look like this. They are chewy. They have the same chew as some of the other ones, sugar versions that I've missed. So these are great. I actually got a whole bunch of these, so I'll be eating these for quite a while. So yeah, 9 grams of net carbs per bag. So, I mean, and again, you know, if you're careful about fiber, it'll probably take you a while to get through a bag. So there's 4 different ones. I took out the raspberry one. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pull out all of them. This one, I think it's the lightest color, and I think this is supposed to be green. It's supposed to taste like green apple. You can actually see all the flavors here. So I'll link Smart Sweets down below so that you can take a look. So they do ship to the US. And then they have a sour variety. Now, you know, if you're used to eating sour candy, this is not going to be, you know, the one with the sugar on top. In fact, it's, I don't know if you can see that, but it kind of, you know, there's no crystal anything. So it's very thin. I think it comes from citric acid. Or something like that, but it's a harsh sweetness, and it goes away fairly quickly. It's not going to be like the sweet sour taste that you normally get with those kind of sweet and sour candies. So that's Smart Sweets. And then ThinkThin bars. I've kind of had these around my house for quite a while. I'm probably gonna you know, wean off of these eventually. I think you know, nothing terribly wrong with it. I just, taste is not my favorite, but right now my favorite is actually the white chocolate, which I actually don't have. But I usually eat about half a bar at a time, usually after a workout or something. And then I keep these in the fridge because they just taste really good from the fridge rather than just straight like this. So this one's a chocolate fudge one, but you know, these are good. It's just not my favorite, and I you know, think that there are other bars out there that are pretty good as well. So That's the ThinkThin ones. They're probably fairly cheap compared to other bars too. I think sometimes I can get a bar for $1.50. I think I've seen them for $1 before, but 20 grams of protein for about 230 calories on average and 8 grams of fat. So, you know, not a bad alternative to drinking a protein shake, or even just, you know, if you're feeling like you need something sweet. Next up, going along with protein bars, Quest bars. I love Quest bars. I've tried pretty much every flavor. I don't know if I've done, like, I think I did do a post on it. I'll link it below, but this is the one that I currently have a box of, and it's the chocolate chip cookie flavor, or oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. And what I like about Quest bars, you know, they have 8 grams of fat, 190 calories, and 20 grams of protein. I think some of them have 21 grams of protein, but they don't have that weird whey aftertaste. They go down very easily. I think I've eaten so many of these, I'm just so used to it. But usually, you know, in the morning when I get to work, after a workout, and then I'll eat one of these for breakfast with a bunch of water, and then, you know, I'll be okay for a while. So these are Quest bars. Again, they come in many different flavors, many different flavors. So again, I'll link all the flavors that I've tried below, but this is one of the newer ones. And then, you know, definitely not sugar-free, but this is a new product from Trader Joe's, or relatively new, coffee glazed almonds. So it does have 11 grams of carbs per serving, and that's a 1/4 cup, so that goes by pretty quick. So it is, you know, 4 grams of sugar, but you know, they're a treat, and oftentimes I'll actually only eat half a serving, so you know, that's even, you know, less carbs, so like 5 carbs or something like that. You know, sugar is the second ingredient, but they're not, you know, like candy by any means. They're just, you know, it's very subtle, and because it has the coffee glaze or the coffee granules, you know, it just tastes like something indulgent, and you know, you're not eating plain almonds. But this I probably may or may not buy again. I think it's just going to be a once in a while thing, because I'm actually fine with eating plain raw almonds as well. So this is just a little bit of a treat here. And then next in line, this is actually some chia seed pudding that I made, and I've eaten most of it. So this made about 3 times as much as what's in this mason jar. So basically the recipe I use is just a 1/4 cup of chia seeds, a cup of whatever unsweetened non-dairy milk I have at the time, a packet of sweetener, I use Truvia, and then with this one I added about a 1/4 cup of Libby's pure pumpkin. I whisk that all up and let that sit for, you know, a good 8 hours or so, and then it turns into this, you know, consistency where it will not fall if you turn it upside down. So it's a good pudding, high in fiber, you know, unsweetened. So I like to eat this, you know, when I'm having a pudding thing. So I'm gonna try to see if I can come up with other variants, but I think the pumpkin just makes it so creamy. And I actually do add a little bit of pumpkin pie spice. So this was in my fridge, so I just decided to talk about that. And then onto some more interesting things. I ordered some donuts from the Dough Bar, and I'll link them below. So they're a company based in kind of Northern California, or at least more northern than here in LA, but they make protein donuts, and they are 150 calories, and I believe they have 11 grams of protein, so they're just a very protein-packed donut. And mine came in a box of 4. I've eaten 2 of them. I'm going to show you a picture of one of them that I ate. The other one I didn't get a picture of, and the last 2 I've kept in the freezer because I haven't gotten to them. So this straight out of the freezer, so it'll probably, you know, once you microwave it for a bit. They say to microwave it for about 15 seconds. Maybe a touch longer if it's been kept in the freezer, or maybe I'll just let it sit out when it's time to eat it. But yeah, it's a donut, comes with a hole. You microwave it for a bit. It comes with toppings. So this one is s'mores, and then it's got the little marshmallows, chocolate, and graham cracker crumbs. So I actually kept this in the freezer too. So you microwave this little cup of frosting for 5 seconds, and then it just drizzles on to here. And yeah, I mean, I think it tastes like a donut when you do that. When you eat this straight out of the fridge, which unfortunately I've done, it tastes more like a bagel, a really good bagel actually. So, I mean, if they got into the business of selling bagels, you know, I think they do pretty well, because normally bagels are just really carby and don't really have a good protein. And it's a decent size. I don't know if you can kind of tell, but they're a decent size. And, you know, I've gotten away with eating like half of one at a time. I'll share with my husband, or, you know, I've eaten just for small snacks, I'll just eat a quarter at a time. So these are really good. I'm probably going to order from them again at some point, just as an occasional indulgence, you know, because they come out to about maybe $4 to $5 per one, which I guess you would be paying for any gourmet anything that you buy. And, you know, since I'm not buying gourmet cupcakes or anything anymore, I guess this is the alternative. So yeah, check them out. Seems like a good company, coming out with new flavors all the time, and they have different variety packs. So that's the dough bar. And then lastly, we have these Optimum Nutrition cake bites. I've posted about these before on Instagram. You know, they're not, you know, this one's 240 and it's got 3 cake bites inside, 240 calories, and I think 20 grams of protein. And this one's messy because it's got sprinkles, but you'll see this little bite, it's about the size of maybe an Oreo, I guess, much heavier and denser. These are so good. I really like them. They taste good, and, you know, the problem is they kind of go away really quick, but they remind me of Little Debbie or something. You know, I ate a lot of that growing up, which is, you know, probably why I have an issue now. But yeah, they're really good, and unfortunately they leave these little marks on your hand too. So, you know, they've got, I think for the sweetener they use some sucralose, so I don't know if, you know, if you're not okay with that, then this is probably not for you. But it's just nice to keep these in the fridge, and once in a while when I'm really hungry, I'll just, you know, eat one. So it also comes in red velvet, which I've also tried and liked. It also comes in, I think it's like a cherry or some kind of fruit thing with chocolate outside, which I'm not usually a fan of, so I don't know if I'm going to end up trying that one. But again, you know, I like these. So Optimum Nutrition cake bites. So that's all I've got. You know, sorry this was quick and I kind of just recorded the whole thing, but hopefully that gives you some new snack ideas. And I'll probably be doing other posts like this so that you get some ideas. If you're trying to go low carb or just looking for something new in general, I will you know, be happy to share those with you guys, since I'm kind of in that mode and trying a bunch of things. So until next time, you know, I'll see you guys later.